All right, hey, I'm Steven. This is my wife, Lorin Hayes, and this is S and L. So
Can we say that?
Can we say what?
SNL, Saturday Night Live.
I didn't say SNL. I said S and L. Stephen and Lorin Hayes. I said that.
Okay, I don't know.
S and L. Stephen and Lorin Hayes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, look, people. Everyone out there listening and watching, whether it's evening, morning, or afternoon, hello and good day to you.
Good day to you, good sir.
Look, she's busting my chops. All right. So what we're looking at doing is we want to give you some encouragement throughout the week. We want to try and give you some words of wisdom, based on our life. We've been married 11 years, been together for 13. We have 6 kids. I'm sorry, 4 kids.
We're a family of 6. We have 4 kids. One. We do not have 6 kids.
No, sorry.
There's nothing wrong with having 6 kids, but that is not accurate.
I meant to say we're a family of 6 with 4 kids.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say. So we're a family of 6.
And we want to
4 kids.
Yes. And we're thinking about, using our life experience and other things to help other people. So kind of like helpful videos, hopefully.
So today's topic is about grieving.
It's kind of a heavy topic.
It is.
But October is Pregnancy and Infant Awareness Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I thought maybe it would be good to talk about this month because both of those things kind of hit close to home. My grandmother, who has passed on now, but she had breast cancer. And we know many people that have suffered a loss of an infant or miscarriage, including ourselves. We've had a miscarriage before. So I thought maybe we could talk about that to help you guys through grieving, because I don't think, at least when I was going through it, I didn't feel like many people talked about it, and it was hard to navigate. I don't think people knew what to say, so this is hopefully we can help.
Yeah, so hey, look, make sure you have your tissues ready because we're prepared. We don't know how deep this is going to go, but just in case, I don't want to have to go looking for tissues in the middle of the video. So
also we have these.
Oh yeah, we're going to show our braces off. Hey, shout out to Shauna Fitzgerald. I want to thank you so much. She made these bracelets for us.
Yeah.
The best part is they have a few lava rocks in it. What are you going to say?
Yeah. We have essential oils to help us through emotional support and help us not be stressed, and it smells really good. So if we sniff our wrists in the middle of the thing, it's not, hopefully it's weird.
I like to make it look weird.
Okay.
Stress away.
So I guess I just wanted to start talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about grieving.
What things people can grieve over. Obviously, death is one. What other ones?
That's I'd say, go ahead. Death, loss of a relationship.
Yeah.
A friend. Being in the military, we moved a lot.
Significant other.
So, yeah.
Divorces, separation, just a breakup, I guess. Boyfriend, girlfriend breakup.
For some families, the loss of a pet is that intense because the pet is like is a family member.
We said loss of a job.
No, we didn't say loss of a job.
Yeah. And then maybe loss of your dream kind of thing. Like I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but I know it was hard when Steven was deployed and he came back and we had to kind of relearn each other, and it was different because he struggles with some different things, so it was kind of a loss of what you think is going to happen, and life kind of changes that way.
Yeah.
So
you gotta learn how to roll with the punches.
You think of a picket fence and maybe something be a certain way and it's not that way.
Yes. So. Absolutely.
So what else do you want to say about that?
Well, that pretty much, we're just trying to give you some ideas. You're watching this, you already know that there are different things that you've grieved over, and so we're just wanting to share, I guess, some of the things that we've had to grieve over, and just kind of meet you where you are.
Yeah.
Be transparent and share some of our experiences. I know that kind of humor with showing the tissue box, but again, not knowing how deep this might actually get, we want to make sure that we let you know, this is us and this is going to be real.
I think I was going to talk about just, I guess, a process of grieving. Most people, I think, know this, like, well, maybe some people, the stages of grief. I wasn't going to go too far into it, but just, you know, first you're in denial, and then you have anger, and then you may be bargaining. And then, what's the other one? Oh, feeling depressed, and then finally accepting it. Well, I wanted to go into more actual, like, things you can do in grief that can kind of help. And I think what helped for us was talking about it with each other. We had each other and some other close people, but it was really hard for us because it was our first baby that was supposed to be our first baby that we had a miscarriage with. And I remember, like, I told everyone, like, and you know, social
excited.
Media.
We told everybody,
and I put it out on social media.
Yeah.
And you know, some people were just like, it was really, really hard when it first happened because, like, I had to keep reliving it, like every time. Oh, how are you doing? How's the baby? And it was like, so I had to, like, take a break.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, some helpful things and some not helpful things. So hopefully you guys can, like, either relate to this stuff, or maybe if you know someone who's grieving, can help them by not saying something that's not going to be helpful. I think what do you think about this? Like, for grieving, when someone just kind of, I think it's okay to say that you're sorry for someone's loss. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think people say that a lot. I think there's no one else to say. But for me, like, when my friends hugged me, some of them cried with me, like, that was helpful. Or just sat with me, let me cry and talk, I think was helpful.
Well, I'd say for me, there was a short time frame where I just needed to be alone with my thoughts to kind of work through it mentally. I did think to pray about it, you know. That was something that I thought to do. I did think to pray about it. I wasn't really feeling like I was getting answers from God, or maybe I wasn't listening very well. But I didn't, you know, I did think to pray to God about it, and it was really hard. So I needed some time to myself to kind of go through it, and then I was trying to find ways that I could, you know, grieve with my wife, like help Lorin through it. I wanted to you know, try to do things to, like, help you through it, but you know, work never stopped.
Yeah.
And so I was still active duty Army. I was running a facility. And so I was still in charge, and I still had to go to work, and
keeping busy, you think, helped you a little bit, not to think about too much, or?
I would say that for the short term, that staying busy did help.
But you got to deal with that.
It really wasn't so much. Maybe I would say that was probably not good coping. So there's some good coping skills, and then there's some bad coping skills. I would probably put that in the category of bad coping skills for me. For some people, they may say that staying busy helps, and it's healthy for them, and that's fine. For me, I don't think it was healthy, because what happened is I stayed busy, and instead of just, like, giving me time to process it and work through it, it was almost put completely out of my mind because I was so busy. I didn't have time to process and work through it at all. And so then every time it came up, it was like being re-traumatized by the issue all over again. And so then all these emotions erupted in me. And I was going through some of those stages. Usually the one that came out the most was anger.
I was going to say something about that, because you brought up the faith. Like, I definitely have a faith in God and stuff, but I was very angry. Like, why? We wanted this baby. You know, I was very upset and angry. And I think that's normal, and it's okay. And I think, you know, for our faith, God is big enough to handle those emotions. Like, and he already knows anyway. So I was just like, I am so angry. Like, I was mad. I was like, I mean, I don't think I cursed at God, but if I did, I think he would have been understanding that I was so mad.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah. So I like that. And I think that the one thing about people that have some kind of faith base is, I think it helps me have hope, though. Like,
absolutely.
But I was going to talk about, so we talked about things, friends just, like, sitting with us, or, you know, being able to, like, talk about it. Was kind of helpful. I think people don't know what to say, so sometimes they say, like, they just say whatever comes to their head, and it's not helpful sometimes. Like,
oh, you're young, you'll have more.
Like, that doesn't negate your loss.
Exactly.
Or,
that doesn't. Yeah.
instead of just, even if they just left it out, I'm sorry, or they don't know what to say, like, I mean, a hug. It's kind of hard.
But what about like the doctor? Like we were in the hospital finding out that this is what's happening to my wife, that it's a miscarriage. And the doctor had no bedside manner. Came across very insensitive, not knowing that, I don't know if that was his intent or not. But he came across as callous and insensitive, and
he probably was just used to that happening because he was an ER doctor. But he just, in the same breath of saying, like, you're having a miscarriage, but don't worry, you'll have more. Like, that was not the time. That's not the time. He gave
us the percentages, like, what was it?
I don't know. I think it's like 10 to 20% of known
pregnancies.
So like when you actually know, I guess, they're, if you're early enough along, they're not figuring people know that.
Yeah.
But so I don't think that helped with the issue. But I think also like some well-meaning, I love my church family, but some well-meaning church people, I think, maybe took it to be like, well, that baby wasn't meant to be. No, I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't look at God as being vengeful
like,
in that way. He's not out to get you or out to discipline you or punish you.
Or someone would say, well, maybe something would be wrong with your baby. And I'm like, that's not okay either. Like, I have friends or people I know with like kids with different disabilities, and like that doesn't make them less valuable.
Exactly.
So I would definitely say don't say anything like that to someone that's grieving.
So there's some don't do's.
And or like blaming them, saying it's something you did. That's what people are like. There were actually people that asked me like, well, did you? And you're already blaming yourself.
Were you sinning?
No.
Did you sin? Is that what happened? You lost your baby because you're a sinner.
No,
like,
not
really,
like
people?
that. And not all church people are like that. I just want to make that disclaimer. I had plenty of people that had come alongside me and helped encourage me and just let me talk to them. But I think more so people saying like, did you drink a soda when you're pregnant, or you're not supposed
to have
caffeine?
Did you smoke? Did you have alcohol?
Which I don't smoke or have alcohol, but like maybe I had a chocolate bar and I was like freaking out, or like maybe I had a soda. Like no, like it's no. So just So in that, just knowing, I guess, that it's not your fault, because I thought it was all my fault. Like my body couldn't hold this baby, and I know for other griefs, it's maybe not that.
On that, I wanted to say, like, for the men out there, from my perspective, having my wife, going through this process with my wife, I would say, like, for me, it was the like, other men didn't know what to say either. Yeah, they're like, hey, suck it up, you'll be all right. Like that's not beneficial right now. I don't need to suck it up. I need to actually grieve. It's healthy for me to grieve.
Yeah, I just don't think people get uncomfortable with grief. That's the thing. And I think the best thing you can do for someone like your friend is to just let them grieve. Like, not tell them, oh, don't be upset, or don't, like, no, it's good and it's okay for them to grieve. And it's also, there's not like a set time limit. I mean, I think there's a point where you might need, maybe if you're not able to do, I guess, your daily things, that you might need to get some help, so that way you can help work through your grief.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's like, oh, you got a divorce, you only get a year, or you only get 6 months or something. I think it's different for each person, and sometimes it's like you have to re-deal with things. Like, will come up like
something
around
might trigger,
the time,
trigger, and it come back up, and you're dealing with it again, or maybe you haven't fully dealt with it in the first time. Like I was talking about, being so busy at work, it was very easy for me to kind of push it in the back at a certain point, and then I just didn't think about it very much at all. So then when something came up and made me think about it, it was like being re-traumatized all over again. I was, going right back through the suffering. And
when my grandmother passed away, and she had, at different times, she had breast cancer, and then she actually had leukemia and stuff, I think a way that it helped me through grieving was trying to remember the good memories.
Absolutely.
Like, she would call Chuck E. Cheese Chunky Cheese, and Verizon was Horizons, and she was so she would just say funny little things like that. She's just a sweet old lady with some sass, some Brooklyn sass in her. So I think that helps me, and I love my, grandma, and I think that helps me. So sometimes I, can still get sad sometimes, and I do, but I think that kind of helps me through. And then, like, Yeah, I think having a good support system is helpful.
I was going to start with that. Yeah.
And I wish I had like thought about it, but I also kind of thought, because I felt like, oh, I only had it, like other people have miscarriages, I only had this miscarriage, so I didn't think then, but I think I could have benefited from some therapy. I've since been to some therapy for some stuff, and that's really helpful. So
yeah, get around with other people that have been through it as well.
Yeah, just someone help you, work through.
And you talked about like the support. So having like a support network is what it's called. So having that support network, these are people that you know or are experts in their field. So like having family members that you trust with this kind of information, whatever it is you're dealing with, the grief or loss. It could be a really close friend. It could it could very well be someone at work. It's not always, because it depends on the relationship you have with people at work. But it can also be your medical professionals. So if you have like a doctor, because it's a medical issue or something like that, it could be.
Because I guess you can also have a grief of like loss of your, like if you have an injury and like you had this dream that you're going to go in the Olympics, and now your leg is messed up, and that's you have to grieve that too. There's other losses, and I think trying to find a new dream or something for that, like not or. I mean, you could still realize your dream maybe, but in a different way. Like, I don't know.
So I'll share a dream that I that kind of I had going for me. So a dream that I always had is I actually wanted to do one of the combines, or back when they used to have them, I wanted to do like a walk-on practice, trying out for the Dallas Cowboys. So that was something I had when I was a kid. I wanted to be a player for the Dallas Cowboys. And through my various injuries that was happening to me while I was on active duty in the Army, I got to the point to where I actually had a doctor, sit me down and tell me, hey, based on the MRI results, the injury is extreme, and it's to the point to where surgery won't benefit you, so we can't do surgery.
And you're never going to.
And she said you're never going to be able to run. She said that essentially. The way she looked at it is the injury is so bad that every time I do run, I'm furthering the injury and basically making it to where it's kind of like taking years off of how long I'm going to be able to walk even. So and
that's hard also, because you thought about even
I'm an athlete
doing things with our kids.
Yeah, even mentally, I'm still an athlete mentally, but I'm an athlete and I wanted to be a dad and take my kids out and run around with them and play with them, and then I'm being given this news, and for me that was traumatic.
Yeah.
To be told that I can't do these things. I'm like, well, you don't know who my God is. My God is bigger than you. He's got more credentials than you, and I can be healed in the name of Jesus, and I can run and I can walk and not grow faint. And I started going.
I mean, God can do anything, but that might be a little bit of a denial that you had an injury.
And that was exactly denial. It's not that God can't do these things. Don't get me wrong, people. It's not that God can't heal me and do these things.
Yeah.
It's just that I had to think about what it is, like she talked about, that loss of a dream. What it is about my life had to change now because of that. Now, my injury isn't so physical to where I'm missing a limb, and then people can see that I'm missing a limb and know that I'm disabled. What happens is they typically see me, and I based on the feedback I've gotten from people, is they assume that I'm fully able-bodied because I have all of my limbs. They don't understand there's such thing as an invisible wound, mental or emotional
like PTSD
illnesses
and stuff like that.
Yes.
That could be another. That's a whole nother.
Yeah,
video
that's a whole other topic we're going to talk about. But grieving,
yeah.
And loss. That was being told that I had these conditions and how it was going to affect me.
Yeah,
to be honest, it was already affecting me, and this was actually the process of me coming out of the Army. And they're like, "Hey, so this is what's going on with you. This is why you're having these issues. Why you're having." Problems with flashbacks and nightmares and audio flashbacks and night sweats. And this is why you're having all these problems. You have PTSD. Yeah. So it wasn't like, they just slapped a label on me and sent me out the door. It was like, hey, I was already having these problems beforehand. And I finally started being honest with myself and telling my doctor.
So grief of a medical diagnosis too, like for someone like that, or like when my grandma had cancer, that was hard on her. So I think, so let's try to make some, like it's getting really sad, which is okay to be sad, but let's try to give them some good takeaways from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself a more time of mourning, be around people that can encourage and help you and uplift you.
Yes.
And also maybe you know, get you out of the house. So I'm like, isolation wasn't good for me. So having someone to help you. And
may I add on to that? So I was talking about earlier how having some time to myself to go over my thoughts was good for me, but it was some time. You know, it's going to vary from person to person or situation to situation, but like staying in isolation wasn't good for me. That made, I kind of further went into more of the depressed state of mind, and so that
people are made for
good.
Relationship and connection. So
yes.
Isolation for a long period of time, I don't think that's good for anyone that I don't know.
And being you can't tell because I'm on camera, but I'm typically more of an introvert.
Yeah.
So I
you
feel
get your
more
energy
energized
from
when I'm able to be around maybe a small group of really close people. I'm able to get my energy back and relax. But yeah, that was something for me. I did need to be around other people, and so it was nice when I started getting out with some of my friends and doing things again. That was helpful.
I think trying to do something for yourself, some self-care, definitely self-care.
Yep, and we're going to do a topic on self-care as well.
Bubble bath if you like to bubble bath, or
I
don't know.
Whatever you can do to help you relax. Like if you notice that your anxiousness or the things that come along with the grief, the stress and all that comes along with the grief, if it's starting to manifest itself physically, you're getting tightness in your chest or your shoulders, your neck, you're getting headaches frequently, get a massage. I mean, we've actually done that. We've actually got, we get a massage.
When your neck's all like this.
And it helps you, it kind of helps
you and then
deal with helping you relax.
Because your shoulders are in your ears.
Yeah, instead of doing this, you can kind of get it down here, get yourself relaxed a little bit.
So I don't know what else to say about that. So I think we gave you some good tips, and we're going to leave on the bottom.
Yes, we're going to leave some contact information for anyone out there that might be watching this that is dealing with grief. So we've gotten one for veterans or service members, and then we've got one for everybody here in the United States. So
and then also you could like inbox us if you want. I'm okay with that. Inbox if you need to just share, or you need to talk.
Yeah,
we're friends. For friends on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, and hey, like we always say, we'll pray for you. We got no problem praying for you. Prayers are free.
Hugging's gonna cost you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I hope that this helps someone, and
we'll wind it up. So hey, if this helped you, if you know someone else that could benefit from this, please make sure you hit the like. It lets everybody and your friends know that you've seen the video. If you hit the share, that way you can let some people know about the video as well, and it can help someone else.
So we'll leave the links, and also maybe some books to help with grief. I remember my friend Courtney gave me this book called Empty Arms that helped me with my miscarriage. So I'll try to leave some books that I think helped me. Maybe they can be beneficial to you.
There we go. So look in the comments. We're going to add all that stuff in there for you. Maybe we'll have little credits at the end of this video, but we want to let you know that we do care.
Yes.
We love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next Thriving Thursday.